in computer architecture and organizations. Now, here we have discussed the control sequence with the help of single line bus structures. The bus structure is used to communicate data and addresses. It has the address, data and controls. Now, here we can observe single line bus structures. How components are connected with single line bus structures. Here we observe the PC, that is called as a program counter. That program counter contains the address of locations any instruction going to be executed. Now that address is again stored in MAR. MAR contains the address of instructions. Now that address may contain data or instructions. That data and instruction is again stored in the MDR and it is copied in the instruction register. Now the next function is instruction decoder. The next block is instruction decoder. Instruction decoder takes that instructions and generate control sequence or control signal for related instruction which is stored in the instruction register and send it to central processing unit. Now here we observed X is the one block. With the help of that X, where we have the mux, and that mux is connected to ALU. Output of mux is connected to ALU. ALU again has the two input. One is called as A and second is called as B. A is input connected with the help of mux and the B is directly connected to bus. What is the output of ALU? The ALU output is observed on Y. And these are the different types of registers where we are going to use general purpose register and temporary register we are going to use to perform the operations. Now using the single bus line structures, how we going to execute in any instructions? Here we observe the instructions or complete instructions. Here we have add R3, R1, R3 hundreds, that nothing but 1000s, and R1 30. Here we have the instructions that is called as R3, R1. That instruction executed using the 4 phase, that is called as fetch the instruction from the memory, fetch the first operand from the memory, fetch the additional operations and load the result into the R1. According to that, already we have discussed how that instruction going to be executed. So for the given instruction, we first write the control sequence. What control sequence we are required to execute these given instructions. That is called as add R3, R1. Now here first control sequence here we have PC out. That means what are the data, what are the address here we have that must be out and it must be stored in MAR. Here you can observe PC out MAR in. Then that data must be read, that address must be read on the data lines. Here you can observe the select 4. What are the address? There must be incremented by 4 and it will be stored. Now add and we can observe the output on JD. Now in the second step, Z out. What are the output here we have observed here that can be out with the help of Z out, and again in PC in. WMF indicate the wait memory function completed. It is a control sequence. Again a control signal is waiting for the memory, wait for memory function completed. Now in third step here we have MDR out. What are the data or instructions? Here we have MDR. It must be out and it must be stored in instruction register. We already discussed that MDR contain data or instruction. That data or instruction stored in the instruction register, and that instruction register is connected to instruction decoder circuit and it will again generate the control signal. Now with the help of IR in, that is placed in the instruction register. Then R3 out. What are the data R3 out we need to perform? Then MAR in. MAR indicate the address of that particular locations and again it must be read. So again it need to in 5 step we can observe R1 out. Then we have Y input connected to the mux. Again we require to memory function completed. Then MD out. MD out. What are the data here? We have MD out. It will be selected with the Y lines, okay, to increment that address. Add it and we observe the result on Z in point number 6. Now what happened? What are the output? Here we have Z out that can be observed with the Z out. Here you can see, and it is again sent on database. It again require RE, and at last here we have to perform the end operation. So what are the instructions? Here we have R3 comma R1. For R3 comma R1, here we require 4 step: fetch the instructions, fetch the first operand, perform additions, and load the result. And given instructions, we have perform, or we have write the 7 control sequence or 7 step of control sequence using the single line bus structures. Thank you.